giving people hope. This is CBS 6 News.
A jury decision rocking Albany tonight. New reaction pouring in from lawmakers about the conviction of former Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver. You'll see Silver leaving court just about a half an hour ago after he was found guilty in his federal corruption trial. Before he was even out of the Manhattan courthouse door, you can see next Silver's name removed from his office door at the Capitol. CBS 6 was there when Silver learned the verdict that cost him his assembly seat. Capitol reporter Kimberly Howard joining us live now from Manhattan. And Kimberly, I know he's gone and it looks pretty quiet where you are, but that's been a really exciting afternoon. What's been the feel like there?
Well, really, the feeling in the courtroom is sort of permeated outside to the streets here. Several people were waiting for Sheldon Silver to come down the federal courthouse steps, many of them expressing excitement when they found out that he was convicted on all 7 counts. You see him here walking out of federal court. He's been convicted on 7 counts, mail and wire fraud, extortion, and money laundering. Found guilty, swarmed by reporters. Inside the courtroom, though, it was much different than this sort of chaotic scene that you're looking at right now. Sheldon Silver himself was actually pretty calm as the jury read back their verdicts. Guilty, 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 one after another on each of those 7 counts. I did notice him sort of drumming his fingers ever so slightly on the desk that was in front of him. I was sitting just a few rows directly behind him, so I couldn't see his face. But as I was walking out of the courtroom, I did notice him actually smiling at his attorneys. Sort of a different feel, though, when he did come down the federal courthouse steps and was swarmed by reporters. Didn't seem happy. In fact, expressed just the opposite, quite disappointment, as you can imagine, from this verdict. Liz?
But what's the feeling about an appeal?
So we did speak with his attorney very briefly. He did tell the whole swarm of reporters, his attorney, Stephen Molo, as well as himself, saying that they are going to have an appeal, that in fact is going to happen, that they, of course, are disappointed with the verdict. We also spoke with Mr. Cohen just a short time ago, and he again reiterated the fact that they will appeal, but that's something that could take months. He said that that's something that we wouldn't see necessarily until February. We also know that in the court proceedings earlier today, the judge didn't set a sentencing date. So at this point, we're not quite sure when Sheldon Silver will be back in court. As many of you know, it's not like he was hauled away in handcuffs and taken to the federal prison right away. He will await his sentencing date. He was obviously released on his own accord, was escorted, as you probably saw in the video, in a black car and went on his way. Along with some escorts earlier today. So, of course, we're going to keep on this for you as this continues to have its effects, not only here in Manhattan, but, of course, back in Albany, and we will keep you posted. We are live in Manhattan. Kimberly Howard, CBS 6 News.
All right, Kimberly, thank you so much. And we're going to talk more about what's happening here in Albany and the reaction. Silver's fellow lawmakers have been speaking out after news of his conviction broke. The man who replaced him as Assembly Speaker, Carl Heastie, released a statement online that says, in part, words simply aren't enough. We will continue to work to root out corruption and demand more of elected officials when it comes to ethical conduct. The Assembly majority remains committed, he said, to exploring ideas and implementing reforms to restore trust in our government. And in the last half hour, I had a chance to talk to Republican Assemblyman Steve McLaughlin, who told me,
I think the way you restore the trust in government by the people of New York is to continue to expose this, to continue to get the corruption trials underway, continue to send these people to jail. And really, the public has to pay attention as well and make sure that they're paying attention to who they send to office.
We'll also have reaction tonight from the man who laid out the charges against Silver back in January, U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara. Bharara held a press conference then detailing the elaborate scheme he accused Silver of using to collect millions in bribes and kickbacks. This evening, his reaction, well, it was much more concise. Bharara released this statement saying, and quote, "Today, Sheldon Silver got justice, and at long last, so did the people of New York." Joining me now, former Albany County District Attorney Arnold Proskin. So good to have you with us. It's been a while since we've seen you. Appreciate your making it
Well, it's
here.
great. I'm honored to be here.
Talk a little bit. Give me your reaction to the verdict, first of all.
Well, you know, I'm not overwhelmed because basically we have a situation where they put no defense in.